Tin on the roof of a hay barn sways in the wind. A home draped with blue tarps sits about 100 yards away. This damage is not from a recent storm. This is from Hurricane Laura in 2020. Danielle and Brandon Vale live and farm here in Calcasieu Parish, south of Lake Charles. That's right, I said live here, not in the home, but in this apartment attached to the equipment shed.
You're definitely right there where you work at. When you walk out the door in the morning, you're on the job.
Brandon Vale says despite the extremely short commute, he's blessed.
We went from a 2,700 square foot house that we lost in Laura to a 700 square foot apartment, but we're very fortunate to have that 700 square foot apartment. I know people it's over a year and they're still in a camper, so I feel very fortunate to have what we do.
What the Vales do not have is federal disaster aid already approved and funded in the Farm Bill, so they're having to find ways to pay for many repairs themselves.
Fence posts that used to cost me $2.60 a year and a half before, I'm paying $4.35 for, plus the trucking to get them down here. So it's not a cheap deal to rebuild, and rebuilding is going to take several years. I mean, I'm 13 months into it. I've got 5 miles of fence left to do a complete rebuild on. We've patched what we can. We've done probably 2.5 miles of complete rebuild, and I've still got 5 miles left. So it's going, it's just taking quite a bit of time.
That's why these folks are taking time to meet with the Vales. In the group are Louisiana Farm Bureau President Jim Harper and American Farm Bureau President Zippy Duvall.
I thought by now, a year later, most of these damages would have been fixed, but people have applied for the aid. The aid has been approved the way I understand it, but it's just not being paid.
And what are we going to do in our country when everybody decides they can't put up with the difficult situations that we face each and every day? Our country has to have food, and it's got to be produced by tough farmers, and Brandon and his wife are as that young, tough couple that'll stay here. But when in time of need, they need that help, and they need it in the right time. And they buy the insurance policies to do everything it's supposed to do. And a year after that, it's still living in the barns here. So we're glad we are happy to talk about the necessity of getting help to these farmers on time.
There's days I kind of wish I'd have picked a different profession, but I'll still be here. So it's just a little harder, a little more stressful, and we're going to make it.
The Louisiana Farm Bureau sent a letter to Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack asking that disaster payments be sent out in a more timely fashion. Congresswoman Letlow and Congressman Clay Higgins have both already spoken in support of Farm Bureau's request. We'll have more from Duvall's tour next week, and it was really cool to get to hang out with him for a couple of days, and then we brought him in for what we do here at Louisiana Farm Bureau, the Grassroots Government Podcast. And I don't know how much you got to listen to of that.
I did, and well, it looks like y'all took him on a whirlwind tour before that.
Yeah, well, it sounded like it too. Poor guy, his voice was given out by the end of this. But, you know, it's important for our farmers and ranchers, our grassroots folks, to have the chance to tell the president of the American Farm Bureau, who has a weekly conversation with Secretary Tom Vilsack,
right,
to be able to tell him what's going on and what's important to them. He said that I think we were his 17th state so far on this tour. So, you know.
And members in the state appreciate him taking the time to come visit them because it means something.
It does. It really does. And that's why you need to get involved in Louisiana Farm Bureau. Be part of the grassroots that makes a difference for agriculture.